Joining us now is Victor Avila, retired Homeland Security Investigations and ICE Special Agent and a supervisor. Thank you so much for being here. I want to get your reaction to the Trump administration taking away temporary status of 500,000 people and giving them a month to leave the U.S. That's pretty short, saying the Biden administration abused the program. So, I mean, are they right?
They certainly are. Temporary protective status is meant to be exactly that, temporary. And one of the things that's used for correctly is to help other people from other nations that suffer from an earthquake or hurricane, a natural disaster like that. It wasn't meant to come into the country as an additional type of visa or permit, if you will, to live here. Especially for, some of these 2 years, even longer than that. It's definitely been abused by the Biden administration. The same thing, we could talk about the parole program. And I could tell you firsthand as an agent, I worked very closely with these programs, and we looked at them on a case-by-case basis, and it was based on humanitarian issues, not just across the board, giving them to people coming into the country.
Interesting. Well, I also wanted to get your take about the administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport alleged gang members. Here's what Borders' Tom Homan told me earlier in the show. Let's listen.
We're going to keep arresting TDA members. We're going to keep arresting MS-13 members. We can certainly remove them under Title VIII. And if we got any max arrest, we'll just detain them until this works its way out in the court. But we're going to not stop doing what the American people elected this president to do.
Yeah, Homan's been very forceful on this, and you worked in immigration enforcement. So does the administration need additional tools at this point to deal with people who pose a threat, or do they have it handled? I mean, we've been talking about the amount of troops that we have at the border and even with the Navy as well on the water. So, do they have enough?
Personnel is always welcome, whether it's more Border Patrol agents or other agencies helping right now in this kind of surge of what we're seeing. Definitely welcomed, and I think it's needed very much so. But going back to the TDA members and using this Alien Act, you got to remember, these are terrorists now. They're not a gang, they're not a cartel. These are terrorists and designated as such. And this is how we need to start treating them. And I think it's appropriate to enact these kind of acts and use them to be able to remove them. And Tom's right, it's not going to stop ICE from going after them and at least finding them in the U.S., whether they remove them just for other means. Remember, ICE has many other ways of removing people, and not all of them are deportations, by the way. There's a lot of different types of administrative type removals that are under the law, so they don't necessarily have to go through this act, but it'd be good to have it there in case we need it because of the most dangerous terrorists that are here in the country.
President Trump is also announcing tariffs on anyone who buys oil from Venezuela. And that comes right after the country announced an agreement to accept deportation flights. So you've got this, back and forth. I spoke to State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce on Sunday. Here's what she had to say.
He knew that what we were demanding, and as we have in general for countries around the world, is that they have a responsibility to repatriate their citizens who are in this country illegally and have committed criminal acts. And so this is something that we were hoping we would see again, and we apparently will.
So do you think that the tariffs hurt that deal at this point?
I think it's a good deal. I think, it's working. It's making other countries want to do the right thing with the United States here. And I think it's important, like Venezuela, that, first of all, that accept their own citizens to begin with. And remember, a lot of these individuals did not live in Venezuela. They came from the surrounding countries. And which is a big, big issue here. Being sent back to their home country is probably what they don't actually want to do, but it's a must at this point.
Well, we've got more to track on this, and I'm glad that you're here to help us through it all. Victor Avila, thank you so much for breaking it down. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.